Hi everyone! So yes, I'm in the exact same clothes as my last video because through the power of YouTube, you get to wear the same thing and make multiple videos in the same day. It's great! So I said in my last video that I was going to explain why I am wearing electrodes on my chest and why I have a heart monitor on for the time being. So I'm going to try to give a little bit of background on how we got to going to my doctor this current time without trying to make this really long. So I started having really shortness of breath when I was pregnant with my first son a couple of years ago, and my doctor was very thorough, and she sent me to a cardiologist just to make sure that there was nothing going on. I went to that cardiologist and I had an EKG and a echo done on my heart, and that is it. And that doctor told me 2 weeks later, after he reviewed my findings, he told me that I had cardiomyopathy and that I was going to have a heart attack on the table while I was giving birth to my son because my heart rate would get too high and my heart would go into failure, and that I should never get pregnant again. So I left that appointment really freaked out. So I went to a new doctor and had them run the exact same test. And that doctor told me that there is no way that you can diagnose cardiomyopathy from just those two tests. I don't know if that's true or not. But that doctor said I did not have cardiomyopathy, that my heart was fine. And that all that was wrong with me is that I was short and I was 35 weeks pregnant by this point after seeing all these doctors several times. So a few weeks later, had my son, and things kind of went back to normal. I was still short of breath, but I just kind of ignored it. I had gained a little weight with the pregnancy, of course, so just thought it was that. I ignore my health a lot, and if I'm not pregnant and my health is not going to affect another person's health, like the baby that's inside of me, I kind of just ignore it, which is not a good thing. So when I was pregnant with my next son, a few years after I had my first, the problems came back tenfold. I was short of breath like the day I found out I was pregnant, and it was so much harder, and it felt like when I tried to do any physical activity at all, I was just dying. I was just smothering to death. I just could not breathe, couldn't catch my breath. My heart just felt like it was just, working really hard to pump and everything. And I would take my blood pressure, and my blood pressure would be super low and my heart rate would be super high, like in the 140s, which is not good. So I went back to my gynecologist and I told her I need a referral again, and she told me just go back to the same cardiologist that you went to before. So I called the number that said cardiologist in my phone, and it just happened to be that first cardiologist that told me I had cardiomyopathy and I was going to die and I should never have children and all of that. So yeah, so I went ahead and went to him, let him run his test again. He did the exact same test again. He told me, you don't have cardiomyopathy. I don't know why we told you that 3 years ago or 2 years ago. Yeah, I love doctors, love them, but whatever. So during that pregnancy, I was put on bed rest for most of the pregnancy because of my blood pressure issues. Again, my blood pressure was really low. My heart rate was really high. And when this would happen, it would cause me to pass out. And they say that's not good. I was fine every time. I mean, it never happened when I was out in public, thank God. But I was fine. I mean, you wake up eventually, but they don't like when you do that when you're pregnant, apparently. So he just told me I can't put you on any medication because you're pregnant, and whatever medications we put you on will not be good for the baby. So we didn't do anything, and they just kind of told me come back after you have your baby. Well, my son will be a year old in a couple of weeks, so yeah, I totally went back right after I had my baby. So I went to my cardiologist again a couple of days ago for my follow-up after having my child, and they did the same test again. They did an EKG, which is they hook up a whole bunch of electrodes to your heart, and you sit there really still for like a minute, and it reads all of your heart waves, and then they say, yeah, you're good or not. That is a very, very small snapshot of what your heart is doing. So that's why they make you wear the, they call these event monitors because they capture events, heart events that happen. But that's why you wear these long term, is to have a better chance of catching those little heart events. So anyways, they did the EKG, they did an echo, which is actually a sonogram they do on your heart. And they also did a sonogram on my legs. And I don't know what that one was called. I think it was called like a Doppler or something like that. But yeah, they checked all the veins in my legs. And that one was interesting because I didn't know that one was going to happen, for one. And so the lady, she would like, have her jelly on her little probe, and she would like do her little whatever that she needed to in that section, and then she would just lay a paper towel over that jelly spot and then move a little bit down my leg. Do that one with jelly all over it, then put another paper towel. So after she like walked out and left me, I just have like paper towels just like stuck all to my legs like I'm just some gooey mummy or something. But yeah, I had to clean all that stuff off. After having all of those tests done, my doctor comes in and he tells me all of your tests seem normal as far as I can tell. There's obviously something going on, and he asked me to tell me your symptoms one more time. And my particular symptoms are the extreme short of breath. I just feel like I'm smothering all the time. I get like electric pulses in my fingers sometimes, and that's just kind of weird. I don't know if it's related at all, but I told him about those. And also the one that scares me the most, besides like the heart palpitations and like the fluttering and stuff, is when I'm really, really stressed or have done something extremely strenuous, like going up a big flight of stairs or something like that. My heart starts beating, really loud, and I can hear it in my ears and everything. So I'm paying attention to it, and my heart will literally skip a beat, and then the next beat it does, it goes like boom, and it hurts. It literally feels like it's jump starting, like boom. It hurts. So if I did not have that going on, I probably wouldn't be going to the doctor at all, but that one concerns me just a little bit. So I told him about all of that, and he said that we are going to order a whole bunch of blood work. My doctor also put me on a few different medications. I am taking magnesium, 200 milligrams twice a day, so 400 milligrams total. And I guess I had to look up what the benefits of magnesium were even for. And it controls blood vessel function, blood pressure regulation, and normal heart rate. So I guess I need that because my heart rate's not normal. He also put me on potassium, 20 milligrams, and that is to prevent and treat low blood pressure, which I have. But one of the side effects of this medication is that it makes your heart rate go lower, which is good because my heart rate goes really high and my blood pressure is low. So it's doing exactly what I need it to do. But today is my third day taking it. And today I literally had to lay down in bed, and I took my blood pressure and pulse like 6 times. And it just kept getting lower and lower and lower. Like my blood pressure and my pulse. Like the lowest that my pulse got down to was 58. And that's like getting into the where you need to maybe go see a doctor range. And I had a really, really bad headache. So I'm going to definitely be telling my doctor about that. And this is one of those medications you're not supposed to just take yourself off of. So, yeah. So I'm definitely going to make a note of that one. And then I can't pronounce the medication that they put me on. But to the best of my ability, it's Tornectic. I don't know. 50 milligrams of that, and that is a beta blocker that affects the heart circulation. So, yeah. So along with it being a beta blocker, with any fluid that I'm retaining, whether it's on my heart or lungs or anything like that, it's supposed to help get rid of that fluid as well. So if you are unfamiliar with the ranges that your heart are supposed to actually be in, I will tell you normal ranges, and then I'm going to give you a few examples of my own and show that I'm not particularly normal. So a normal blood pressure is anywhere from 120/80 to 140/90. So the lowest your top number is supposed to be is 120, and the lowest your bottom number is supposed to be is 80. So it is considered dangerous when your top number gets lower than 90 and your bottom lower gets lower than 60. My own blood pressure is usually anywhere from like in the 85 to 115 range over like 50 to 70. A couple of my blood pressures that I went back in the history from and got off of my little blood pressure machine that I have is 107/68, 117/79, 91/62. That was today. 91/62. And when you're supposed to go to the hospital and get help is 90/60. My heart rate while my pulse was at this was 65. A normal heart rate is anywhere from 60 to 100. Anything below 60, you're supposed to go get help. So today, I was right there. And I did not tell my husband how close I was to telling him, like, we need to go to the hospital. I think my heart's going to stop. But today scared me just a little bit. And I'm really hoping that it's the medication and it's not like my heart is freaking out more or something. Hopefully it's the medication. But anyways, so yeah, like I said, normal heart rate is anywhere from 60 to 100 beats per minute. And when I was pregnant, my heart rate was usually between 130 and 160. And when it would get really high, like up in the 160s, that's when I would faint. And if you have a really, really high heart rate and you have that for a long period of time, you can have a seizure. So that's not good either. So to find out why my heart is doing this, my doctor ordered a couple of tests. We are going to do blood work to check all of my levels to see if I'm deficient in some kind of vitamin that I'm needing. And we're going to do a CTA of my chest. It's not a CAT scan. It's a CT scan, I'm guessing. And I looked it up, and that does like the veins and stuff in your body, and not like, I don't know what the other ones look for, but this particular one is looking at my veins. So I guess where they can look at the veins in my heart and stuff like that. And they're also going to do an x-ray of my chest to make sure that there is no masses or blockages or anything like that. And the things that my doctor are looking for are like abbreviations, so I'm going to read off what they were because I had to look up all of this stuff. So he wants to check for SVT, which is supraventricular tachycardia, and that is an abnormally fast heart rate. So that's what I was experiencing before, was a racing heart. So we're going to check for that. And then PVC, which is premature ventricular contraction. He said this is that when my heart feels like it's doing the restart thing. He said that could be a premature ventricular contraction. And it's just what it sounds like. It's just your heart having a muscle spasm, pretty much. And then we're going to do a D-dimer, which indicates if there is a blood clot. The very last thing that he is going to check for is a PE, which is a pulmonary embolism. If I'm saying this stuff wrong, I'm sorry. But that is basically a blood clot that's traveling around in your blood that may or may not make it to your lungs and cause problems. So we are going to check all those things, and I'm going to hopefully figure out what is wrong with me sooner rather than later, because I have 2 small children. I really want to be healthy for them. And like sometimes I feel like I can't even play with them because I'm afraid that my heart's going to freak out on me. And I try not to, draw any attention to it or anything because I just feel like I'm too young to have any kind of heart issues. Like, I'm not even 30 yet. But, I mean, I guess at any age you can have something happening in your body and not know. And in the meantime, we are going to wear this heart monitor. So these are electrodes. I have 2 on my chest up here, and then I have 1 under my right breast, which is right below my heart. And these transmit to my little fanny pack. Hold on, let me take it off of me. So where I can keep it with me and feel super cool. I have a little fanny pack. And in my fanny pack is my little transceiver thing, transponder, I don't know. And I can push this button and then hold this down for 3 seconds. If I'm feeling like something and it says like report symptoms, oh, it's upside down to y'all. And then I can do choose symptom and then tell them like if I'm having chest pains, fatigue, shortness of breath, something like that, or I can put in exactly what I'm feeling through like actual words also. This little thing is recording my heart rate at all time. I don't have to tell it when an event is happening. Some monitors are like that. I think like the older ones in the past were like that. Like if you didn't hit the button and say something's happening, record this right now, then they missed it. This one I'm very lucky to have because it records all the time. I don't have to worry about it missing something. But if I do feel something extra happening and I know for sure, like I want to make sure that y'all know what I'm feeling during this event, I can put in those symptoms and it's really easy. And then at the end of my 30 days, I literally mail this back. I don't have to go to my doctor's office, anything. And all the stuff, he just goes onto their website and he can look at all of it. It's so great. Technology sometimes works for your advantage. So I get to wear this beautiful thing for 30 days and hopefully my heart does something while I'm wearing it. Because I had to wear this while I was pregnant, and besides them catching that my heart rate was getting extremely high, we didn't really learn anything from it. So I'm really hoping that now that I'm not pregnant, we are able to do all these tests. We are able to figure out what's wrong and get on whatever medication that can make it better, and a medication that won't make me feel whatever I've been feeling earlier today, because that was no fun. So that's every bit of my information that I have of right now on what's going on. I go back and see my doctor in 2 weeks and then again in 2 weeks after that. So hopefully I will get some answers soon. And when I get those answers, I'll do an update and let y'all know how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, and what we found. Hopefully it's nothing. I'm really praying for nothing. If you would like to keep up to date with this and see what is going on with my issues that I'm having, and hopefully we find out what's going on, then just hit that subscribe button down below and I'll be posting another video as soon as I know something. So y'all just stay tuned for that, guys, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
I wanna drive a faster car.